team, which will again start Joe Theismann at quarterback. And now, live from the Silverdome in Pontiac, Michigan, those never-give-up Tampa Bay Buccaneers must go to Mike Ray at quarterback today for the injured Doug Williams against Monty Clark's vastly improved Detroit Lions.
Can you imagine a quarterback who couldn't even start in college being the force behind a playoff contender? Well, that's the case with Matt Robinson and the New York Jets. I talked to Matt earlier this week, and I found out how he's handling the adjustment. All that and more coming up on the NFL Today.
NFL Today is sponsored by Tuborg Gold, the golden beer of Danish kings. Tuborg Breweries Limited, Baltimore, Maryland. Wang, makers of computers and word processors. And by State Farm, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. From the CBS Sports Control in New York, here's Brent Musburger.
Good afternoon, everyone. It was yesterday, and Oklahoma had just been upset by Nebraska. The scene shifted to Penn State. They were under pressure against North Carolina State. Ray Scott picks up the action in that game.
Isley to punt from the end zone. Suey at the 43-yard line. Oh, here he goes. Good ball. Touchdown.
And the Nittany Lions go on to win 19-10. So for the first time in that school's history, they are going to be ranked number 1. Alabama to jump to number 2. Nebraska probably 3. USC 4. And Oklahoma slides to 5. But there's a sleeper. Jimmy the Greek's been touting this team all year. Here they are. Danny Davis on the keeper for the Houston Cougars against Texas. 29-yard gain. Davis now to Jurgitis on the completed pass, and the Cougars are on the run against the Longhorns. Emmett King for the touchdown. Houston wins. They are indeed headed for the Cotton Bowl, and they could well jump all the way to the top before this wild season is over. Irv Cross, you've got a very good friend standing by live out there in the Midwest.
Good friend of all of ours, Ben. Talking about head coach Bart Starr, the Green Bay Packers, is sitting in the lobby of the Pfister Hotel, and in a few hours, of course, you'll be going against the Dallas Cowboys. Bart, everybody's talking about the great start you've had. The club is 7-3 and you're first in your division. Is the Packer team right now playing up to your expectations?
We were a couple of weeks ago, Irv. We have hit a little bit of a skid and lost 2 of our last 3, so we've got to get on track again.
Well, of course, one of those losses came last week, and I want to take a look at a play. James Lofton caught an apparent touchdown pass against the Philadelphia Eagles and was called back because of a penalty. Just what did happen in that play?
Well, there was a penalty, Irv. One of our people was caught holding, and that nullified a great gain for us.
Well, of course, you know, you've had big plays all year long. Of course, Lofton and Whitehurst and Middleton have been the people, of course, the core of your offensive thrust. And Middleton has had big days for you in Milwaukee in the past. Why is that?
Well, our offensive line has improved this year, Irv, and as a result, we've got improved running from our backs back there. And Turdell is enjoying a good year. He's healthy for the first time. Last year, he was nicked with injuries. This year, he's completely healthy, and he's doing a great job for us.
Now, what's been the emphasis with your Packer team this week, Bart, to get back on track here for the Dallas Cowboys this afternoon?
Well, I think the big thing, Irv, was to try to recover from an emotional loss against Philadelphia. We didn't play well. We thought we had a real good chance at winning the ball game. We did not. And anytime you suffer a loss like that, I think it takes you a couple of days to get back on track during the week. This is a thing that we've been fighting all week, and we feel we'll be ready to go against the Cowboys, though.
You know, I have part of the answer to help you get back on track, Bart. If you need some old, retired, broken-down defensive halfbacks to come out for frees and tryouts, you have a guy right here who can do it for you.
I tell you what, Irv, the way we were going through people this last week, we might have had to give you a call.
Well, good luck this afternoon. Thanks for being with us,
Thank
Bart.
you.
Brent, of course, as far as I'm concerned, Bart Starr ought to be high on the list for Coach of the Year honors. And, of course, you've got some award presentations to make, too. Who was the Player of the Week last week?
Well, our Schick Player of the Week, like Bart Starr, a quarterback, Burt Jones of the Baltimore Colts. But, you know, I had predicted Washington was going to win. And I watched all that pain and the agony and the comeback. And I said, it reminds me of one thing, the sting. Gee, we've had marvelous weather so far during this football season, haven't we? Down in RFK Stadium, beautiful day for football. George Allen, the former coach of the Redskins and the Rams, one of our announcers down there. And George, I'm curious, how was John McVay able to turn it around against the Redskins? You dominated that team for so long until last year.
Well, Brent, one of the things, for some strange reason, the Redskins offense have made mistakes against the Giants defense. The Giants defense has forced turnovers, interceptions, sacks. And the Giants defense has dominated the Redskin offense.
Now, what about that Redskin offense today, going back to Theismann at quarterback?
Well, I think Joe's ready. He was only out one game, really the 49er game. I happened to bump into him at the airport, and he's fired up and ready to go. He's never beaten the Giants, you know.
All right, George. Have a nice afternoon. We'll see you back in L.A. tomorrow.
Thank you, Brent.
Okay. Speaking of Los Angeles, earlier this week I had a chance to be with Tom Mack and a couple of the players, and they asked to make a point. Jim Youngblood, the linebacker who had that unfortunate blitz against Tommy Kramer when Kramer convulsed on the field in Bloomington, then was credited in the papers with breaking Doug Williams' jaw. Williams, the fine young quarterback of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I went back into our coverage, and you really cannot see it because we follow the football after the pass. But in the player's footage, it shows that Jim Youngblood's helmet struck Doug Williams in the upper chest, and in fact, it was Freddie Dreyer hooking around to the outside who got Doug Williams with a forearm. Now, the Ram players are not trying to put the focus onto Freddie Dreyer. They say it was an accidental injury. However, they do want to make the point that Youngblood has received an awful lot of hate mail after Kramer and after Doug Williams. They say he's really not a killer at all, and we better make the point right now. So, one of the announcers who's covering the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for us today, Sonny Jurgensen on the sideline of Pontiac. And, Sonny, what about the fine young quarterback at Tampa Bay?
Doug Williams had his jaw broken in 4 different places. They said he'll be back possibly next week for part-time duty, Brent. They don't want to have to play him. The big problem is not calling the plays in the huddle, but calling the cadence at the line of scrimmage. He had have a difficult time with his jaw wired to call the signal, so they don't want to use him if they don't have to.
You know, Sonny, you never think about the voice with a quarterback, but you bring it up, and that is really critical, isn't it?
It's got to be critical, and especially with the crowd noises, too.
All right, Sonny, have a nice afternoon.
Thank you.
Okay, speaking of quarterbacks and injuries, Jane, you were with the New York Jets, and, of course, they've lost Richard Todd, switched to Matt Robinson, and you went out to talk to Matt. What was the mood like out there at that camp?
It was kind of strange, Brent. I don't know what they're trying to hide out there, but it seems to me that when I went in to do the interview with Matt, a lot of the PR people and the front office people were in the room, and they were kind of like checking out to see what I was going to ask him and find out what he was going to answer. They didn't want to talk about Richard Todd at all.
Interesting. They're committed to Todd long range, and suddenly Matt Robinson appears.
Most experts figured that the New York Jets would go about as far as quarterback Richard Todd could take them. But in the 4th week of the season, Todd was injured and has not played since. Yet the Jets have won 4 of their last 5 games as Matt Robinson, a 9th-round draft pick who wasn't even a starter in college, has taken the Jets farther than even Todd himself might have. Last week, Robinson engineered a startling upset of Denver when he hit Wesley Walker with a 75-yard game-winning touchdown pass, establishing the Jets as a playoff contender. You were second-string quarterback in college, and you weren't drafted until the 9th round. Do you find that the patience you develop by sitting on the bench, does that make you a better quarterback, do you think?
I think it builds character a little bit. I did it, in college and did it here, and it just made me realize that a second-string quarterback is as important as a first-string quarterback because, your first-string quarterback goes down, and you've got to have somebody to step in there and be ready. So, it's just, I think it's a very important position.
You had kind of a unique nickname in college. What was it?
Oh, third and long. Yeah, I just picked that up once I got here, playing the game at all. I feel like if you're satisfied being second string or sitting on the bench, you don't deserve to be there. You shouldn't be there because you're not helping yourself or anybody else involved with the team.
What do you think's going to happen when Richard comes back?
I think it's the type of thing that once you start talking about it, that's when the controversy starts and things start going wrong. And things are going good so far. I can't complain, and I don't think Richard can either.
The Jets are now the second highest scoring team in the league. Has Wesley Walker, Derek Gaffney, and Jerome Barkham made you a better quarterback?
Oh, 100%, 110%. Those guys have done a fantastic job, and they've made it really easy on me coming in the situation I did. They've made it easier for me to call a game, throw the football, and, with Wesley, as fast as he is, and the receivers that we have, I think I came in a superb situation as far as, the team around me was concerned. I'm not trying to brag. I think it's time people believed in the Jets because the fact that we are second in the league in scoring, we're playing good football teams, and shooting at the playoffs. What are these guys going to do when everybody's been in the league 4 and 5 and 6 years? I think experience really is the only thing holding us back right now.
Jane, I had a thought. I wonder if the rest of the Jet team would have improved if Todd had stayed there, or if they would have depended on him so much they wouldn't have come along.
Well, I don't know. A lot of people seem to think that Richard was really pulling them through at the beginning of the season, but this guy is very confident, and it seems to me that he can do it. I think the team is also confident in him.
Yeah, it showed in that interview, too, yes. Jane. Now, speaking of confident quarterbacks and quarterbacks having good years, Archie Manning down in New Orleans has been driving the Saints, and Irv Cross was down there. We'll be back with Irv as the NFL Today continues on CBS in just a moment. Jane gets stuck out on Long Island. Irv goes down to Bourbon Street. I don't know. That's seniority on your part, I guess.
Oh, it was a lot of fun being down there. It was a great day we spent down in New Orleans because Archie Manning, of course, and the Saint team they're all excited about their record. They're 5-5 right now and have an opportunity to have the best season ever in their franchise history. But Archie reminded me, and he made this point crystal clear. I'm having a big year, but don't forget Tony Galbraith, John Hill, and the other 45 players in the squad.
Yeah. Amazing. He's never aged. He still looks like a teenager in this piece.
When Archie Manning arrived in New Orleans, he was perhaps the first in a new breed of NFL quarterbacks combining size, mobility, and a tremendous throwing arm. The trouble was, he just never gave the Saints a winning season. And even worse, severe arm trouble threatened to end his promising career before he could make the Saints a winner. But this season, the football fortunes for both Archie Manning and the New Orleans Saints are taking a turn for the better. The Saints, with a respectable 5-5 record, are just one win away from their best season ever, while Manning's the NFC's leading passer. Always a quarterback of great promise, Archie has finally come of age.
Archie, I recall seeing your very first game in 1971. You started here for the Saints. You led them to an upset victory over the Rams, 24-20, and a controversial play the last play of the game, but nonetheless, you did win it. What were your thoughts at that point? Here you were a rookie, your very first pro game, you won a big game.
Well, it was one of these things, the old saying, what do you do for an encore? Unfortunately, I think it's taken me about 7 years to get the encore. But we hung close, went down the wire with them, and then 3 seconds ago, instead of going for the tie, we go for the win, and I score. And a few weeks later, we beat the Cowboys. They were Super Bowl winners that year. Those 2 wins probably topped anything we were able to do for the next 5 or 6 years, I think, until this year.
In order to be the conference-leading passer, you have to have some help from your receivers.
I've got 2 guys, Tony, and a lot of people probably don't know a lot about Tony Galbraith and Henry Childs. I think they're going to find out about them in the near future. Tony Galbraith has caught, 50 balls through through 10 games, and he's averaging around 9 yards a catch. That's good stats for a fullback, and he's got real happy feet, the real quick feet. I think he's the nearest thing to Chuck Foreman that I've seen come in the league the last few years. Henry Childs is a quarterback's delight as a tight end. He gets people's respect as far as going deep, but he gets open. He's got just a very natural pair of hands, and then some of those defensive backs bounce off of him.
With Childs, Galbraith, and assorted other receivers on hand, Archie Manning finally has the supporting cast he needs to become a winner. But more important is a winning season for the Saints.
We've won 5 around here, but as many as we've lost through the years, I'll never let one go by, a win, without really appreciating it.
Irv, if the Saints ever stock the playoffs, New Orleans will be higher than Denver down there.
Well, they're sky high right now, you know that.
Yeah, absolutely. Big game today against Atlanta. Now, ordinarily, we turn to Jack Whitaker at this moment in the NFL today, but Jack is on vacation. He'll be back with us next Sunday. But we'll be right back with Jimmy the Greek as the NFL Today continues on CBS in just a moment. Guys. Professor, glad to see you're feeling a little better. You were under the weather earlier this week. Let's roll up the Giants and the Washington Redskins. And, Jimmy, suddenly the Redskins floundering just a bit.
Well, they lost to a good Baltimore team. Rather, they got outsmarted. But nothing wrong with a little sting in a play one. If the Giants could win just with a kicking game, it would be great. But our secondary is hurting. They're just playing poor ball right now. Theismann's bad knee is healed. And listen, Washington is in a must-win situation to stay in the battle for, with the Cowboys, and they're smelling the money now, and whoever smells the money is going to win.
Tampa Bay, Jimmy, what are they smelling today in Pontiac against Detroit?
Well, you got to give both these teams credit. They came on. Tampa played super football, against every team that they've played this year, and Detroit the last 4 or 5 games is playing real good. This game doesn't mean anything in the standings, but the special teams of Detroit should win. It should give them an edge. These two teams can upset anybody that they play any day from now on, though.
I want to roll up our doubleheader game, of course, Dallas and Green Bay. What have you got to say for our good friend Tex Schramm?
Oh, I tell you, good news for good old Tex today, really. I mean, Green Bay plays the perfect defense for his little prima donna boy. What's his name? Dorset. I mean, to really run real well today. Especially if they give him the ball 15 times, I'll guarantee you he'll break 100 today.
Write that down, Irv. These are heavy predictions over here.
Dallas will win today because this is the kind of team, that's got the 4-3. It's perfect for Schramm. Schramm will be clapping his hands all the way, and he'll say, I told you Dorset was good.
Okay. How about the one a little bit later this evening? Pittsburgh and Los Angeles.
Yeah, that's a nice one to give to anybody. I'll tell you what. I'm going to give you the negatives of both teams. They both have poor kicking and poor punt returners. After that, forget about it. They're good everywhere. The Steelers are hurting a little bit. Rams have a better front, better offensive line. Steelers, better speed. I think a better quarterback. A slight edge to the Rams. I don't know why. I really don't know why. Only because they're at home. And it's the smallest of edges.
How about the rest of the schedule according to the Greek? Razor's Edge. Look at the upsets he's picking today. Atlanta over New Orleans, Denver over Cleveland, the Jets over Philadelphia, and Seattle to beat Baltimore. In the favorite category, Minnesota, New England, Miami, San Diego, and Oakland. And a prohibitive favorite, the Greek has got Bud Wilkinson now on a long winning streak. Let's find out who Jimmy thinks is going to wind up in the playoffs. Back with that as the NFL Today continues in just a moment. Jimmy, who have we got favored now to get into the playoffs?
I'll tell you, no strangers. No strangers. The Cream's right at the top. New England in the East, the Steelers from the Central, and Oakland from the West.
Now, what about the NFC?
No strangers there, really. It's a toss-up, really, though. I'll take that back. Because Washington can still beat Dallas. Minnesota will overcome Green Bay, and the Rams have a walk-away.
Well, that'll be a big game for the Packers then today against Dallas and Milwaukee. We have an extra wild card team in each conference, Jimmy. 2 now are going to come and then play off in an elimination round. Who would be favored in the American and National for the wild card team?
In the American side, Miami's a tremendous favorite for one of them. But the second card, boy, is really a tough struggle between Denver, Houston, and let's not forget Seattle. And if the Jets could upset 4 more teams, that'd be all right.
All right.
On the other side, though, you've got to give the wild card to Atlanta or Green Bay. The second one, that is, because either Dallas or Washington will have the first one. I'll tell you, the Dallas-Washington game will be decided Thanksgiving Day, and we'll be there.
That's right. We'll have turkey down in Dallas.
Right.
Looking forward to that. There was an old familiar face back in Madison Square Garden last night coaching the New York Knicks. Earlier in the day, the Knicks announced that they were replacing Willis Reed with the man he replaced. So Red Holzman moved back inside the huddle of the Knicks. And what he wants to go back to, well, a little more team offense and a little bit better defense, like you'll watch right here against Boston. Ray Williams taking it on in. The Knicks last night won the Reed debut for Red Holzman. 111-98 was the final score. Watch Spencer Haywood take the feed from McAdoo and ram it home. And there's plenty of time now for the Knicks to get back in the playoff picture. You're not going to believe the next piece of footage I'm going to show you. Seton Hall and Uppsala are playing football. Now, you're watching right here Seton Hall in white celebrate. 40 seconds to go. They lead the game 14-10. Folks, it's all over. Here's the kickoff. Bounces down now. And Uppsala fumble. All they've got to do is just run out the clock. Look at it. 33 seconds they're down to. And Seton Hall fumbles. Uppsala's got one more chance. Watch the quarterback now. Bobbles a snap. Now he stands there. Long pass for the end zone. Could do it. Intercepted. A victory for Seton Hall, right? Hold everything. With just seconds to go, and all the quarterback has to do is fall on the ball, look at what happens. Would you believe that? 16-14. Uppsala wins it. And that's the kind of action you're going to see today on CBS. We'll see you at halftime and again after the game. For Jane, Irv, Jimmy, I'm Brent Musburger. We hope you've enjoyed the NFL Today.
Stay tuned as the NFL Today continues after this word from your local station. The word. Today's game is sponsored by National Car Rental, the Big Green Team. 10,000 people working for you. Radio Shack, a Tandy company, the nationwide supermarket of sound. And by Ford and your Ford dealer, who invite you to see and test drive the all-new LTD and Mustang.
This is the Silverdome, Pontiac, Michigan, where today the Tampa Bay Buccaneers go against the Detroit Lions. Hello, everybody. I'm Don Crickey. This is Sonny Jurgensen, and today we have a couple of young quarterbacks matched against each other. Mike Ray for Tampa Bay and Gary Danielson for the Detroit Lions. How do you like him, Sonny?
Mike Ray getting his first start for Tampa. I do. I talked to him down on the field. Good quarterback. He's excited about having the opportunity to play, subbing for Doug Williams. He looks at it as an opportunity. Saw him throwing the ball. He was throwing it well, too. Also, he gives him a little more running ability.
And Danielson, a young quarterback out of Purdue, now starting his 6th game. He's passed very well for this club, Detroit.
He has in his 5 starts. He also gives them a little more mobility than Greg Landry did. He's throwing the ball about 64% in his last 3 games. I like the way he plays.
Both these clubs have good young football teams. They've made critical mistakes, but they can play real fine ball when they keep it together. The referee today is Gordon McCarter, and there's the rest of his crew. The Lions have won the toss. They'll be receiving to start the game. There's Neil O'Donohue, the Dublin-born place kicker. Played collegiately at Auburn, All-American soccer player. Ready to kick the ball off. And back deep now for the Detroit Lions. This is Nat Terry taking the ball ahead, and he's going to bring the ball out across the 15-yard line and out across the 20. He's cut down to the 21-yard line. And there, the Lions will go on offense 1st and 10. As we take a look, the quarterback Danielson, his setbacks are Bussey and King. Bussey, a good running back. Luther Blue, Freddie Scott, and Dave Hill are the pass catchers. And there is the offensive line, which has been tied together much tighter in the recent weeks under Fred Hoagland, the offensive line coach formerly of the Cleveland Center. They had problems early in the year. There's a Detroit player down on the first play from scrimmage. So he's being attended to. It might be Nat Terry who returned that opening kickoff. And when we go to play, it'll be 1st and 10 for the Lions at the 21-yard line. Now, these two teams met once earlier this season. That was back on September 9th at Tampa Bay. Lions won the game 15-7. They also beat Tampa Bay last year 16-7 in a previous meeting. The Buccaneers coming into the game with a season record of 4-6, but John McKay will be quick to tell you if they didn't have to play the final minute of every game, they'd probably be a playoff team. They'd definitely be a winning team.
That's right. They've lost like 3 games in the last minute of play. Just recently against the Rams last week. As we look at Monty Clark, he's certainly disappointed with his football team. They've been mistake-prone throughout the year. He's had to juggle his offensive line, having a lot of problems with it. They've even moved Lynn Bodine to guard from left tackle. Brad Oates also moving from left tackle to right tackle. A lot of changes in that offensive line, trying to find the right combination.
And now let's take a look at the Buccaneer defense as Nat Terry is still down after returning the opening kickoff for the Lions. Charlie Hanna, Dave Pear, and Leroy Selman. There's a lot of people think Selman's the best defensive lineman in pro football. The linebackers are good too. Dave Lewis, Dewey Selman, Richard Wood, and Rick Bonas is starting today. At the corners, Jarris White, Mike Washington, Mark Cotney, and Cedric Brown are the deep safeties for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Looking at that defensive team, they are ranked number 2 in total defense in the entire National Football League. Shows you what kind of defensive team they have.
And they've given up less yardage to the rush than any club in the league. They're averaging the opposition only 3.2 a carry against Tampa Bay. And here's the replay of the opening kickoff when Nat Terry went down.
Let's see if we can pick up where he does get injured here. This tackle coming through goes down. That field is awful hard down there, and walking out on it, Don, it's hard to tell exactly what happened, but you see Monty Clark coming out on the field. Let's hope it's not a serious injury. What a way to start a football game.
It is definitely not a leg injury. So Nat Terry being attended to, and now they've unfortunately brought a stretcher out onto the field. So I doubt if we'll see Nat again this afternoon, though you never know. Some of these guys come back in a hurry.
It's hard to tell exactly what hits here. He hits down. It could be shoulder or his. Watch it again. See if we can pick this up. Nat Terry, right there.
Of course, he played last year for Florida State. He's a rookie out of Florida State, Nat Terry.
He hits his head. It's the first part of the head. It looks like his helmet hit the AstroTurf first.
So Monty Clark gives some last-minute instructions to quarterback Gary Danielson as we're a little delayed in starting the game. And that's how the teams break down statistically over the first 10 weeks of the season. Really quite equal. Total yards, remarkable quality. Completion percentage is a definite advantage for Detroit. They've been throwing nickel and dime passes, short passes, and have been doing well with them. This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League, and it is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Detroit Lions and the National Football League is prohibited. If you joined us late, Nat Terry returned the opening kickoff for the Detroit Lions, and he was badly shaken up. He is still down in the field some 10 minutes later. He's being attended to now, and they're going to remove Nat by stretcher, unfortunately, and we will be back at the Silverdome in Pontiac, Michigan very shortly as the Lions are ready to go on offense, 1st and 10. Back at the Silverdome in Pontiac, Michigan, the Lions look on as Nat Terry, their kick returner, is now being removed from the field, injured on the opening kickoff of this game. They're very carefully placing Nat on a stretcher, and he is going off the field now. I just hope he's not seriously hurt. That's all you can hope at this point.
You have to be extremely careful, and we're going to try to find out exactly what the extent of the injury is. Try to get a report from the locker room. They have to be very careful, extremely careful when it's a head injury.
So now the Lions break the huddle, come out 1st and 10. Coming out wide to the left for Detroit is Freddie Scott. Luther Blue comes back across the line of scrimmage as Detroit goes to the run on 1st down and doesn't get much. Horace King, the fullback, who averages over 6 yards a carry here at the Silverdome this season and under 3 yards a carry on the road. He likes it here, the fast field. He got the first call and got about 3. Actually 2 where they haven't spotted down, so it's going to be 2nd down and 8.
This field is suited for the personality of this football team, being AstroTurf, because they don't have the big power running backs that some teams do have in favor.
Danielson opens his backfield up now, sends a wing back out to the right. Goes right back up the middle, and running high with the ball is the fullback. Horace King getting the call again, and he is out to the 29-yard line. It'll bring up 3rd and short yardage.
The way to attack the 34 defense, straight at it, or misdirection this time, right straight up the middle. Horace King finds a very small hole to get through. Pretty good blocking now. Brad Oates makes a fine block. Larry Thierry, good blocking at the point of attack.
Dave Pear had a play on the ball carrier, could not hold on, and so now it is 3rd down and 2 coming up for the Detroit Lions, ball at their 29. There's no score in the first quarter, first series of downs. Danielson rolls out, big rush against him. Charlie Hanna lost him, and let's see where Hanna stepped out, pushed him out of bounds. It looks like he might have gotten enough for the first down. He did. Danielson rolling out and stepping over the line marker. He did get the first down for the Lions.
That's that extra dimension that people like Gary Danielson give them, the ability to run with the football. Tampa Bay had 9 men on the line of scrimmage this time in this short yardage play. He rolls out. You see a safety blitz coming through. As he rolls out, Charlie Hanna chasing there. Just escapes him. Did he get out of bounds before that marker? They gave him the first down.
Well, they got in a break, but Detroit has the first down. 1st and 10 at their 31-yard line. Danielson averaging over 6 yards a rush, throws in the flat to his tight end, Dave Hill, and good coverage is afforded there by Mike Washington, the cornerback out of Alabama, a big range cornerback, and he hits Dave Hill, and that's a player that Danielson likes to go to.
Got a further report, Don, on Nat Terry. It's a neck injury. He is going to the hospital for x-rays, and we'll try to find out further what the extent of it is.
2nd, about 7.
We'll update you as soon as we hear any further developments on Nat Terry. 2nd down and 7 coming up now for Detroit. Ball at the Lions 34-yard line. Danielson swings it back out. Here comes a big rush. He gets the ball away to Dexter Bussey. And Bussey runs ahead for another Detroit Lion first down. He advances the ball out to the 43-yard line. Jarris White comes up to make the tackle for the Buccaneers.
Just a safety valve pass out in the flat. It's like a delayed screen under pressure. Danielson gets hit, gets the ball off to Dexter Bussey, and look at the blocking he gets here. Thierry making a good block. Elias making blocks. Lynn Bodine out in front of the play. Enough for the first down.
So Detroit with consecutive first downs on this first scrimmage. After taking the opening kickoff, they're out to their 43-yard line. That time, the Buccaneers close down the run, and a quick hit is made on Dexter Bussey. Coming up to fill for the Lions was Leroy Selman, number 63. And also on the play for Detroit was Rick Bonas.
Also coming from his safety position, Don, was Mark Cotney. It came all the way off and ended up in the Lion backfield.
So there was no gain on the play. It's going to be 2nd down and 10 now for the Lions. Ball at their 43-yard line. We have no score with 11:38 to play in the first quarter. Detroit has come out running the football. Dave Pear drawn offside as markers go down. Dave Pear jumped the gun, a stutter cadence, but we'll see if there was any motion in the offensive line of Detroit.
He did change cadence, and you were right. He went to a longer count than he normally does. Pull him off sides, I think.
He used to like to do that.
Well, you have to do it. You like to do it in short yardage situation or when you feel the defensive line is beating your team off the ball, so you try to give your people a little advantage by changing the cadence. Half the time you end up pulling your own people off sides anyway.
Now that time he got Dave Pear, so the ball is advanced out. And instead of 3rd and 10, it's going to be 2nd down and 5. Here's the call.
Offside, number 76, defense. Repeat, 2nd down.
Play the down over. So they go back. Detroit Lions coming out of the huddle now with 2nd and 5 coming up. Both wide receivers are set to the left. back. Horace King moving out in front, running hard. There's a big hit put on him by Charlie Hanna, number 73. Rick Bonas and Richard Wood came across also. First quarter score from Foxborough, Massachusetts. The New England Patriots on a John Smith field goal leading the Houston Oilers 3-0. New England starting to cook, Sonny.
They are. They're getting stronger each week.
Third down coming up, as you see, 2 yards to go for the first down. 10:45 to play in the first quarter. Excuse me.
On a very conservative drive here by Danielson. This is a thing that's hurt him in the past. Being conservative, they end up making mistakes themselves and stopping the drive.
Bear's got to get his head in the football game. Guys are jumping early. That time Randy Crowder come in, was offside. He was the first guy through, but let's see if there's play against the Lions offensive line.
So many little tricks in that. That center can move his head one way or the other. He can tighten the grip on the football. And I don't know if we can pick this up. Look at, not much movement there. Terry didn't look like he forced him up, but the change of cadence again to the longer count may have forced Pear to react. A lot of times smart centers will grip that football before they snap it real tight, and defensive linemen can play off of that, but apparently they didn't get, he didn't do it that particular time.
Offside, number 71, defense, first down.
Lions getting some cheap first downs early in the game, but they all count. They keep the chain markers moving, and now they're on the Detroit side of the field, or the Tampa Bay side of the field, 1st and 10. The ball's at the Buccaneers 44. Danielson looks deep, throws, great defensive play. Coming up hard was Cedric Brown. Second-year safety out of Kent State, and very nearly an interception for the Bucs.
He threw this into a crowd. I think they made a mistake on the play action. Just looking at it, but look at the people around this ball. Cedric Brown almost comes up. If he catches this ball, he scores standing up.
Right to the end zone. Miami leading Buffalo 7-0 in the first quarter. Delvin Williams, the leading rusher in the National Football League, ran it in from 25 yards out for the first score of that game. Second down and 10 now for Detroit. Danielson, as a blitz is against him, here comes, and he dumps the ball away and gets it off very nicely to Dexter Bussey, but resulting in lost yardage, as coming like a freight train was Dave Lewis, who the Buccaneers are touting for all-pro honors. He came on the blitz and put the heat on Danielson. He did dump it off, but it resulted in lost yardage.
Look at this. I think he throws it underhand. What's this? Just kind of a little sidearm push.
Any way you can.
Anyway, he saved a lot of yardage. Still, it's 3rd and very long. Big blitz that time by Lewis, number 57. Boy, some big linebackers.
Lewis is a big guy. He's 6'4", 230 pounds.
How about Selman, 245?
At least. Dewey Selman, he's in the gap behind Pear, the nose guard. Danielson on 3rd and 14, pumps and lets her go long. He's got a man out there, intercepted. Beautifully done. The ball is intercepted. Picking it off was Curtis Jordan, an extra defensive back in. Boy, he played that one nicely, as he is congratulated by Tom Bass, Wayne Fonts, and Coach McKay in the far sideline.
They had the 3rd and long situation. Just too many yards to make up. Almost like a punt in a way. But he played it perfectly.
Didn't he? We'll be back in a moment. Back at Pontiac Silverdome, this is Don Criqui with Sonny Jurgensen. The Buccaneers, and an interception by Curtis Jordan have stopped the Detroit Lion opening drive, and now Tampa Bay goes with the football for the first time in offense. Mike Ray at quarterback. Johnny Davis, the big back from Alabama, leads the blocking as Ricky Bell turns the corner, and Bell cuts out across the 35-yard line to the 36. He got 5. Davis, who Bear Bryant called one of his best blockers ever at Alabama, led the way, knocked down a cornerback, and that is the offensive backfield of the Buccaneers. Mike Ray starting for the injured Williams. Doug Williams, who now the broken jaw. Setbacks, Davis back there with Ricky Bell. Pass catchers, John McKay is starting today with Morris Owens and Obradovich, and there's the interior line on offense for the Buccaneers.
They've done a little shuffling also.
Bell is credited with a 6-yard carry where they spot the ball down. Giles is now in as a tight end. He's wide to the right. got good speed. He's running a deep pattern. Swing pass goes out to Ricky Bell, and Bell has a first down and more as the #1 draft choice in the National Football League 2 years ago out of Southern California, who has really started to come on after the big game against Los Angeles, gets a first down for Tampa Bay. The Lions on defense have Purifori, Woodcock, Doug English, and Al Baker. Number 60 odds on to be Defensive Rookie of the Year at the moment. Newmoff, O'Neill, and Weaver, a trio of very good linebackers. They always seem to have that here in Detroit, the good linebackers. A little inexperience in the secondary. Walt Williams, rookie Luther Bradley. And the deep safeties for the Lions, Mike Burns and Jimmy Allen, who played on 2 Pittsburgh Steelers Super Bowl championship teams. On 1st and 10, Mike Ray goes to Johnny Davis, and the Buccaneers blasting open the Detroit defensive front. Johnny Davis runs ahead for close to 12 yards. It's another first down. Let's watch this, Sonny.
Somebody must have grabbed pretty good blocking right here. They double teaming Doug English. Drive him completely out of there. Get a lot of movement up front. Johnny Davis, 6'1", 230. Tough to bring down.
A 12-yard gain on the play advances the ball to the 44-yard line of Detroit. So Tampa Bay moving the football out on the run. Got some good out yardage on the swing pass as McKay comes out wide to the right. Caught a touchdown pass against the Rams last Sunday that tied that game. Los Angeles winning in over the final 3 seconds, actually, in the regulation. Kicking a field goal to beat Tampa Bay, 26-23. Right back to the power game as they hit the football right at the Detroit defense and move it down to the 41. Bell got 3.
Pretty good. Just a slant. Nothing fancy. Just straight blocking coming off. You see Revis blocking on Al Baker, big defensive end. It's up pretty good yards there, about 4 yards.
Goes to Ricky Bell, and Bell at 220 pounds with 4.5 speed dances inside the 40, but there is a penalty marker down as Bell brought the ball to the Detroit 38-yard line.
Another penalty flag.
This one's against the Lions, so they'll get 5 free ones. Tampa Bay will. There's no score in the first quarter, 6:59 to play in it.
Mike Ray looks kind of impressive out there. Seems a lot of poise. He got his first completion under his belt.
He's a winning quarterback. John McKay, the coach of the Buccaneers, will certainly attest to that. He quarterbacked the 72 Trojan team at Southern California that was national champions. As you pointed out, Sonny, he quarterbacked 3 games at Oakland as a backup there.
Offside, defensive nose guard, 2nd down.
He didn't get his number called, but we're going to get it here and give it to you. It looks like it might have been Woodcock, 77.
That's a strange call from the official, isn't it? Defensive nose guard. And they don't play the 34 defense. They were just overshifted.
Doug English is playing over the center right now. Ray was 3-0 as a quarterback at Oakland in the games he started. 2nd down and about a yard. Johnny Davis working hard to get inside the 35-yard line. Brought the ball down close to the 34. Woodcock knocked him down close to a first down for Tampa Bay. They keep running at the right side of the Detroit defense, Sonny.
Again, it's because they are overshifting to the other side. They are unbalanced defensive line. They're trying to run back to the cavity of the defense. They did a pretty good job of stopping it there. They're going to measure for the first down, though. Looks like they got just enough, or it's by the length of the ball, or it's going to be short by the length. Look how close that is. Just the point of the ball over for the first down. They keep...
Good blocking from the offensive front. Yeah, they're coming off a big running game against the Los Angeles Rams, a tough team to run on. Dave Revis, 1 tackle. Dan Medlin, Greg Horton, Gary Petz, and Steve Wilson. Interior line for Tampa Bay. Horton and Petz are the guards. Horton, former Ram, Petz, a former Jet they picked up about 4 weeks ago. Here comes Obradovich out wide as a tight end wide receiver now. Spread out the formation. They go to the run again. Here comes Ricky Bell. A penalty marker's down as Bell puts on that change of pace move. Turns the corner and accelerates upfield, but the play might come back. He was knocked down by a veteran outside linebacker for the Lions, Paul Newmoff. Holding.
This is what you need to avoid. both of these teams have been plagued with penalties and turnovers, and it has hurt their record throughout the season. Well, here they had a good drive going and driving right down there and end up with a big penalty here to stop the drive, and now they're forced into long yardage situation. Even though they'll have first down, they big thing.
Holding, number 72, offense, repeat first down.
So now Mike Ray's abilities will be tested as he has 20 yards to go for the first down. Coming out first and 20.
Gary Pett's a guilty party on that holding call.
Fakes, looks, throws it upfield. Jimmy Giles, the tight end, had his hands on the ball but was separated from it by Mike Burns, former Southern California defensive back who came in here as a free agent and is starting now for the Lions.
He pulled a string on that ball a little bit. He saw Giles open, and he really didn't hum the ball. He took something off of it. I think that's the reason it was broken up.
Former Lion Rocky Freitas playing the right tackle. Number 74 for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Spent 11 seasons here as a Detroit Lion. So now it's going to be second down and 20 for Tampa Bay. The ball to the 44-yard line of Detroit in the first quarter, and there's no score. 6:17 to play in it. Tampa Bay continues to split out the tight end, and now a penalty marker goes down. There's going to be a holding call against Tampa Bay. Mike Ray also went down. Baker got him. Al Baker knocks him down at the 50.
Probably another holding call, too.
I think they'll probably take the play. That'll bring up third and about 25. There was a 5-yard loss on the sack.
Holding, number 74, offense, decline, third down.
Rocky Freitas called for the hold.
Number 74, the right tackle. See if we can pick it up when he comes in the picture here. Well, there you say, he saw a little push right at the back of the screen there. Rocky Freitas, he got a little applause there from the Detroit fans that remember Rocky.
Yep. Dave Revis has the tough job of blocking on Al Baker that great. Here's a pitch back. Ricky Bell turns the corner. And Bell gets down to the 41-yard line. He just has tremendous ability, Ricky Bell. A big back and very, very fast. He'll fool you. He'll take those big, easy strides when he's rolling out. He plants that left foot, though, and cuts up field. Boy, he takes off.
3rd and 25. They're not wanting to take any chances on having the long turnover, the interception. They want to kick the ball away down deep in line territory.
Dave Green into punt for the Buccaneers. Angles his punt towards the far sideline. It looks like he's going to get it out of bounds. And he does at the 9-yard line. So Dave Green, the Buccaneer punter, does his job well. The Lions get the ball back for a second time here in the first quarter. They'll start out in the hole as we have 5:55 left to play in the first quarter and no score yet on the board. Back now at the Silverdome in Pontiac, Michigan. Here are some first quarter scores.
Yes, New England has taken a 6-0 lead over Houston on 2 Dave Posey field goals. Buffalo and Miami tied up. Williams with that 25-yard run for Miami, and Joe Ferguson to Reuben Gant for Buffalo.
Now it's 1st and 10 for the Lions with no score here at the Silverdome. Tampa Bay on defense, tough again against the run. As the Lion offensive blockers cannot open up the Tampa Bay 3-4 front. As linebackers come up so quickly, of course, Dewey Selman was a down lineman at Oklahoma. Now backs the line. He comes right up there and hits with the run. Defenders about as well as anybody around. Leroy Selman, you hear accolades about him that are saved only for Hall of Famers. I heard Bobby Beathard, the general manager of Washington, who was the very astute drafter at Miami for many years, say if you had to pick one guy to start a new franchise with, it would definitely be Leroy Selman. That's pretty high praise.
Yes, for a defensive lineman.
Danielson drops to throw in the end zone and gets it away. Nearest guy to it was the center. Very close to intentional grounding as Richard Wood was coming on hard. Wood has put on a lot of weight. 54 coming out of the end zone for the Buccaneers. It's a The draft choice of the Jets came in at only 208. Was a 3-time All-American in Southern California. Put him on an extensive weight program and have him up to 230 now.
Well, he almost took Danielson into the Michigan State band.
Says can bring it a long yardage play now for Danielson, and he's going to have to be looking at a big rush again. Tampa Bay throwing some stunts, blitzes at Danielson, the quarterback. Now the safety comes up like he's going to come. Now he drops back, and here's Danielson. 3-man rush gives him time, but he gets the ball away, and it's caught beautifully for a first down. Freddie Scott, the flying doctor, off-season medical student at Cincinnati School of Medicine, catches the ball out to the 29-yard line. A big gainer for a first down, 20-yard pickup.
Well, what a throw he makes to get it over the linebackers head, right into the gap. Just a turn in, but a long turn in. They got all the yardage, necessary yardage, but look at the throw. Oh, it has to be an accurately thrown ball, and it has to be thrown early. Perfectly thrown pass.
Why would you say thrown early, Sonny?
Because the man's a long way downfield, and he can't turn. If he's going to settle down, you have to throw the ball real early to get it to him. If you don't, if you wait till he makes his turn, the defense can react too easily.
He was actually running to a spot then.
That's right. He knew he was going to turn in, and you have to anticipate it and deliver the ball early.
You're qualified to talk about delivering the ball. 18 years, a couple of pins in the shoulders. Guy sets off the alarms at airports.
You get knocked down enough, you learn to throw it early.
It is second down and 8 now for Detroit. Danielson against a 3-man rush. The ball is caught by Dave Hill, the tight end, and he is all the way down inside the 45-yard line.
Excellent pass protection here. Watch Gary Danielson take his time. They do a real good job on Leroy Selman, pinning him down. He finds Hill wide open in the intermediate zone. Gives it to him, the thing they did last week. They hit Hill, and he coughed one up. This one was good for 32 yards. He protected the ball pretty good this time.
Good for a 32-yard gainer, so Danielson strikes in a couple of long ones in this drive. It originated, you recall, on the Detroit 9-yard line. There's no score in the first quarter. Dexter Bussey out behind Lynn Bodine, and Bussey breaks the crust, and he's not done yet. Finally, run out of bounds at the 11-yard line by Dewey Selman.
Well, good piece of running and also some excellent blocking. He got outside of the 34 defense this time. Watch your blocking right here. Lynn Bodine, one block. Then Dexter cuts back. And Leroy is Dewey Selman chasing him down. Had a tough time getting him down, didn't he?
He did. Dewey finally got him. They spot the ball at the 13-yard line where he went out of bounds. So it's first and 10 there for Detroit as the Lions have a challenge mounted down. Bussey. Dexter Bussey picking his way through the Tampa Bay defense. The pursuit is coming across quickly, but Bussey countering, moving back against it.
Very similar play and a good piece of running and good blocking. Homer Elias pulling out, making the initial block there. Cut back again. He really made Cedric Brown miss. Here's a ground level angle of the thing. They're just getting good blocking right now at the point of attack. You see Brown having a little footing problem. Slipped down and Bussey cut back in. That's the advantage of having these light, quick backs that Detroit has.
Second and a yard and a half for a first down. Second and 4 for a touchdown. Bussey. First down, Lions. He's down to the 2-yard line. Dexter Bussey went overland, over the top on that one. He was hit hard by Jarris White, but he got a first down.
Again, picking on the right side over there behind Elias and Lynn Bodine blocking. Brad Oates also, number 74 in there, throwing a good block. The quickness of the Lion backs helps them out in midfield. But down in tough territory here, this is where they need the big back, Don.
Bill Gay, a rookie tight end from Southern California, now comes in as a second tight end. First and goal, Detroit. Danielson rolls out, throws, touchdown Dave Hill. Lions are on the board first, lead 6-0.
Not a bad-looking little play, is it? David Hill. Just a little bootleg. Fake up the middle. They'd been running that side. Not even a very good fake. Just gets outside of Leroy Selman. Hill all alone in the end zone.
Now Dave Hill gives a little shimmy, shimmy, coco bop. Benny Ricardo will try the point after for Detroit. He's had trouble with his field goals in recent games, but he drills the extra point through. And so with 1 minute and 8 seconds left to play in the first quarter, the Detroit Lions have just mounted one of their longest drives of the season. They went 91 yards to take a 7-0 lead.